Final session is about managing human resource in hospitality industry. This session will be moderated by Mr. Yogendra Agnihotri, Area Senior Director, People and Culture, South Asia, Radisson Hotel, leading the HR function covering 118 operating hotels in South Asia. With over 22 years of experience in the hospitality industry, Mr. Agnihotri has a deep understanding of challenges and opportunities in the dynamic and competitive sector, with extensive expertise in HR management and organization culture.
May we have your attention, please? We would now like to invite all our esteemed panelists, Mr. Vikram Sharma, Director, Human Resource, Marriott International. Mr. Sharma is an expert in global HR practices and employee relations. Mr. Yash Raghav, General Manager, Training, Sarovar Hotels and Resorts. Mr. Raghav has been influential in designing effective training programs.
Dr. Nishit Srivastava, Principal IHM Mumbai. Dr. Srivastava is a renowned academic leader with a focus on hospitality and education. Ms. Divya Krishna, Vice President, The Job Plus. Ms. Krishnan has vast experience in consultancy and recruitment. May we have a huge round of applause for our panelists.
Right. All right. Very good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry, this is the lunch break, actually, but we are extending this session. I promise we'll keep it short and crisp. Since morning, I think enough has been spoken about how people are the number one priority for our business. And I must say that it's no more an HR issue or a priority, it has become a business priority. So it's good to have this conclave or a summit on how to really navigate from here and how we should prepare ourselves for future from people perspective. Every company in this country, in India, is growing, and everybody is talking about growth, right? And in future, what is really going to happen is that we are really short of talent. And in today's discussion, specifically since morning, we have been speaking a lot about, overall generic themes of what needs to be done. And I captured basically 4 points, which really summarize the theme of our conclave since morning. It's all about collaboration, how industry and academia can collaborate together, how we can innovate from here and be more efficient in our future thinking, how we expose ourselves to the new trends in our industry from people perspective, what are the real expectations from an industry point of view, and what is the overall global perspective, because every global company wants to be in India, right? So enough has been spoken in a very generic way since morning. We probably will like to go a little more specific in this. One of the key focus, and this was discussed during the morning session as well, is all about this workforce management. Numbers versus quality, where are we and how do we need to move forward from here? So that's the overall context. Specifically, our topic talks about managing HR in hospitality. Of course, everything in HR will impact the hospitality. So coming back to the panelists here, we have Vikram Sharma, who's the Cluster Director of HR for Marriott in Gurgaon. We have Yash Raghav. Yash is the General Manager Training for Sarovar Hotels. We have Nishit Srivastava, who is the Principal of IHM Mumbai. And we have Divya Krishnan. She is the Vice President for Job Plus. So we have a very diverse panel. It's not only the industry, but it's a wholesome, holistic panel which is sitting here. So I would like to start with Vikram first. Vikram, especially, enough has been spoken about talent attraction. Marriott is, growing very fast in India. And from a talent attraction point of view, where do you see the challenge? And what is Marriott doing to handle the growth versus the talent availability in the market?
So, perfect. Hi, my name is Vikram, as you said, rightly said. And first of all, happy Children's Day to each one of you. For the child in you, a big round of applause for yourself and the child that you are. Yeah, absolutely. Child in you, I said. So your childhood, just take a couple of seconds to remind your childhood to you and actually relive that for a moment if you can. But yes, so this topic is pretty much intense. It's been there for a while. I think so. Marriott as a company is growing very fast. The number of hotels we are opening up is pretty much every second day there's a hotel coming up. We are expanding into towns of say Gorakhpur, Bodh Gayas, Hardwas, and so on and so forth. So the industry as such is penetrating in B and C towns as well. And the challenge we don't face is, we don't face a challenge to attract talent. We actually face a challenge that everybody wants to work in a JW or a Westin or a W. And you know, somehow they don't want to start their careers in a select brand based in Hardwar. Unless and until it's a very family-oriented approach that a student has. So that's the challenge we are facing. And the reason why I say that is the number of applications that we have for any openings at our hotels is significant. To that extent, I'll give you an example which I faced yesterday at my hotel. There was an opening for an operations leader. So I opened the position on Saturday, exactly at 4 p.m. Monday, 10 o'clock, right after the morning meeting, when I check how many applications are there were 967. So the number of applications has never been a challenge. Probably it's the alignment that we expect from a candidate that becomes a bit of challenge at times. But yes, select towns is a challenge. And how do we mitigate that? Certainly, culture plays a very key role. The brand aspiration that a student has is for a Marriott in the industry. So yes, we build up on that. A lot of collaborative sessions across with a couple of institutes that serves our purpose. And at the same time, our employees become the ambassadors for what we do at the company. So internal growth, we promote internal growth, first of all. When that happens, they become benchmark for their subordinates, juniors, and so on and so forth, that they have the flexibility. Now, let me give you another example. That's what I do in the orientation that we have for our new joiners. I ask them, what and where is your hometown? Where is your hometown? If anybody would want to answer that question, where is your hometown? When I say that, it's your village I'm talking about. Anybody would like to answer that question? Amritsar, okay, we have got a hotel in Amritsar. Anybody else? So all I say is, you know, some people says Kota, Siliguri, extreme of north, east, south. I say within 150 to 200 kilometers, there is a Marriott hotel. So whenever there's an opportunity and you want to go back home, this company provides you that opportunity to go back home. So, you know, that's my strong statement to all the young students who join us, that we are expanding so much, and as the company goes, we will grow. Giving my example, with Marriott, I have worked in 6 cities, and I proudly say that I worked in north, south, east, west. So is here, we have interacted a lot in Jaipur. So yes, you know, that's our mantra. First is the culture. Show them growth, show them transparency. Don't give them false promises. Don't tell them in 6 months, 1 year, tu manager ban jayega. Nahi banega wo. Let's be true. Social media is pretty much there. Students are much aware more than us. Our employees are much aware than us. And the second is use of technology. Getting students, getting employees into the training room is a challenge at times. Marriott has come up with this app called DLZ. It's an app, so all my learnings, Marriott learnings, are pretty much out there. And it's such a beautiful, healthy competition that happens. It gives you a real-time attraction. Where am I standing compared to my peers? How many courses I have done? It has few game element in it. So it's a social media game element sort of thing. So I can do a training, play a small WhatsApp game, and then move on to the next training. I think so that has attracted a lot of our employees, and it has kept them engaged all this while. For my hotel, I see a reduction of 8 to 9% of attrition over the last year because of culture alignments, transfer opportunities, and yes, being fair and transparent to the associate. Don't tell them, ho jayega. Give them, we all want them to achieve a SMART goal. Their career is smartest for them. They need a SMART goal for their careers. Please align their SMART goals and tell them the reality what it is. And I think so we are doing fine from that perspective.
Fantastic. So great kind of comments and recommendations from Vikram here, which says invest in your talent from a development perspective, invest in their careers, bring them closer to their hometown, you'll be able to attract them better, and really be genuine and honest with them in terms of what could be the possible career path. So wonderful. So, that's something really interesting. I'll go to Divya now. Divya, what are the unique innovations which can be done in attracting talent, since you have been doing some phenomenal work in Job Plus? What can be done to attract people to work in hospitality industry? Is it fine?
Hello? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thanks for that, Yogendra, and thank you, FHRAI, for having us here. I think just to give a quick introduction about the organization that I'm with, it's called the Job Plus. We started this organization about 2.5, 3 years ago, where our active aim and mission is to create the largest assessed workforce platform in the country for the service and hospitality sector. And I think our key partners in this, Mr. Rajan Bahadur and THSC, have already shared a lot of the work that we're doing. But effectively, we are taking a demand-first approach. That is, what is the talent requirement of the industry? What are the job roles that the industry needs the people to be skilled in? Where do they need that talent? And when do they need that talent? And then we start our work. So our work does not start from student mobilization and then training them and then finding a job. We work in the reverse. We understand what the industry needs. We then mobilize relevant talent. We skill them with the help of THSC and the training partners, and then we deploy them to the industry. And the entire process, I think just to put it into very simple terms, it's 12 weeks lead time from when, Yogendra, you give us the demand to when the talent reaches your hotel.
Yeah.
So I think the largest part of this is for us, and what has worked with the students and what has worked with the beneficiaries, is that from day one, they know what they are coming in for, right? Clarity of communication is key for us in this game. When we're talking about the volumes that we're talking about, I mean, I know we've spoken about having an additional 14, 15 million people required in this workforce for this industry. You know, IHMs, the Job Plus, THSC, we all have to do our bit, right, to bring in whatever talent we can in the best way. But for us, right, the student, the candidate is applying to positions, is applying to programs where they're not guaranteed a seat. If I have applied to, say, an Oberoi program, I have to sit for the interview. I have to get selected by Oberoi before my training even commences. So from day one, I know I will be recruited by an Oberoi in XYZ location. This will be my salary. There is no ambiguity for the student at the end of the day where he's like, I'm dissatisfied with what I'm getting, because he or she knew exactly what they were signing up for. And I think most importantly is like, let's move away from the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, right? Over the last 24 months at the Job Plus and with THSC, we have worked with students in 13 states, 101 cities. And on an average, these students are coming from backgrounds like farmers, parents are farmers, housewives, mechanics. But thanks to the generation today, right, they have access to social media, they have access to the internet, their grooming standards, their communication standards are up at par with what the industry requires at an entry level, right? Be fast, be agile to bring them into the industry, right? And then groom them long term within the industry. Don't lose them after that. After all the effort that we have gone in to bring them into the industry, given them that toe into the door, then keep a continuous learning path for them, a career progression for them. And I have to give it up for brands like Oberoi, Leela, who've been championing this with us, that they have created a separate long-term career path for candidates who are coming through the skilling ecosystem. These are candidates who are maybe 10th pass, who are 12th pass. They don't have hotel management graduations, right? But they're joining as associates. They're doing the work. They have more ambition and aspiration to prove their might. So let the organizations go that long haul with them. And I think these are some of the key things that have worked for us.
So what is Job Plus doing so differently that, you know, when we look at the IHMs, we are not able to fill the seats. But here we see a lot of, churning of numbers from Job Plus and training kids to make them employable in industry.
So I
what's
think
the
over
difference?
the last 24 months, we have interviewed, our team has interviewed over 3,000 students, and we have filled in seats of 1,800 candidates who have been trained and deployed to the industry, right? Those are massive numbers when you're talking about a startup. What is different is, unlike what somebody had said in the previous seminar, the entire program is industry funded. The students are not paying anything for their training. The end employer is investing in the future talent. And this is probably the first time, and thanks to the leaders that we have in the industry has come forward in such a big way to invest in the future talent. Not in the talent that is already there in the organization, but the talent that they want to stay with them for the next 1, 2, 3, 10 years, right? So the entire process of mobilization, of training, of certification for the future talent is done by the end employer, the end hotels where they will be employed.
Fantastic. So great example of how industry can come together and create a structure and an ecosystem of its own, which really is very futuristic in nature. So talent attraction really is one of the key issues. And second issue, which really bothers all of us in hotels, is the quality of talent in terms of skilling, right? So my question to you, Raghav, is what initiatives have been introduced to foster a culture of continuous learning and development at Sarovar Hotels? What are you doing at Sarovar?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Yogen. First of all, my thanks to NCHM, CT, and FHRAI for organizing such an event. And one of my colleagues in the previous discussion mentioned that this issue is a burning issue for all of us, and this event is a proof that we are acknowledging that fact, so that is good. Now, talking about the training initiatives at my company, so I am working with Sarovar for almost a decade now, and I feel proud to see we have a very strong training system for our employees. As Vikram also mentioned about the induction of employees. So, if in a nutshell, if I answer that what training department does for a person who comes and joins a hotel. When a newcomer joins a hotel, he is like an alien in a different world. He doesn't know what to do. He sees people running around here and there, and he's completely clueless. So training support provides him a sense of direction and shows him the path to follow. Now, what Sarovar has done in recent years, so we have certain corporate programs which we keep doing for our managers, and the prime reason of conducting these programs is one, to provide an interactive platform for our managers and supervisors to become better leaders in future. Number two, during these programs and during the interactions, we get to know who are having that right mindset and right ingredient to become a future leader. So it works both ways. Plus, we have recently started our management training program. This is the first time Sarovar has done this in last 30 years of its inception, which is currently doing fantastically well. Also, from last year, from 2023, we have identified that there is a huge crunch of finding hotel leaders, hotel managers and general managers. So we have started a general manager development program in our company. So if I tell you the statistics, last year we could train somewhere 9 candidates from different hotels, and out of 9, 8 have been placed as GMs. And this year we have concluded a batch of 9 entrants in 2024 batch. The placement of those are going to happen in some time. So these are few things which I believe we are doing. And apart from them, we have an army of trainers in different hotels who ensure that whatever culture of training we try and implement in the hotels, they are the custodians at unit level and they do according to the SOPs.
Fantastic. So continuous learning means learning across the level and ensuring that there is a career path aligned with the learning program. So that's something which probably Sarovar is doing right to retain their talent. I come to Nishit now. Nishit, you have been an educational leader for so many years. How do you perceive the role of hospitality schools in bridging the skilling gap? Because, you know, there is enough has been spoken about skilling, gap analysis of where we are versus what is required. What is your thought on this?
Thank you for the NCHMCT and FHRI for this opportunity. Number one, where I see the role of institutes in developing this, if you listen the panelists earlier and today, now also Yash and Vikram, every hotel is developing their own training modules and training. It means that somewhere there is a gap from in the students passing out and the expectation of the industry, which they are bridging up through their own training modules and all development program and that. And to cover this, I think we at IHM level, institute level, we have to think beyond the syllabus. Syllabus is something a student has to clear and pass. But if he has to be industry oriented, then we have to generate different matter. Like for example, I say IHM Mumbai what is doing. We have did workshop with Chef Yadvansh Mathur on the kitchen economics. We did a workshop with Ravi Wazir on the facilities management. So that obviously in new syllabus these subjects are added. But what actually happens, if you see the curriculum and the distribution of hours among the faculty, one faculty is taking 4 hours practical, 5 work days, 20 hours practical only, then 2 hours theory. So it means almost 24 hours teaching in his core area, then given ancillary subject of another 8 hours, 30 hours in a week, he's only teaching. So he's not getting time to develop himself. And he's not, so the institute has to look at this aspect, because we are adding subjects into curriculum. My student should know the firefighting also, my student should know security management also, for the revenue management also. But the question is, who is going to teach? And that's where when I am really happy that ministry has signed, made us sign agreement with the hotels so that we can invite hotel security manager to train our students on this. But again, there is a big gap because we have a large batch of almost 400 students. Maybe ours is the biggest, others are having, but everywhere minimum batch size is 90 to 100 students. If a hotel security manager is coming, giving 3 hours lecture, half of the class is not interested. As we all know in the class, backbenchers, frontbenchers, and middle benchers. The effectiveness of the programs doesn't take place. But in the curriculum, we have to do the evaluation, we have to do moderation, we have to so many things. So what I feel, we all have to take a holistic view that if we have to make the students industry ready, we have to look beyond the syllabus, develop new modules, not what is required in the city to city, because something required in Mumbai may not be suitable for Srinagar. Something required in Srinagar may not be suitable for Kolkata. So this, and industry should more coordinate with this to make the training program which they are running. They are also investing money in their manpower. So why not invest those as CSR responsibility
Yeah.
with the institute? Those MOU can be make more effective if the industry come forward and train in specialized, like he need people in sales and marketing, right? In second year only, if you do the selection of the candidates and select 5-6 candidates and develop them as budding hotelier with your special managers, like your revenue manager is sitting with them, inviting them on the weekends, work with them. That way, we are developing. Rather, we are looking IHM as providing workforce as a worker. Like my student, when they go for industrial training, the hotel F&B manager asks, how many people are giving? I have a big banquet. So, and they all put into the banquet. There is no learning outcome. So, until unless we will not do the hand holding in way of developing hoteliers into business, we will have this gap and this attrition rate will also be there. That is what my take is.
Very true. In fact, there is a very significant step which has been taken on this regard, wherein the 8 hotel companies in India have signed an MOU with NCHMCT and the Ministry of Tourism, where we are trying to work on 2 key aspects, which is student development and faculty development. So I think this is something which is really will really improve the quality and probably help us in
Can I add on something to
bridging the
what
gap?
sir said?
Of
Yes.
course.
So first of all, thank you, Nishit sir. Gentleman sitting on my left was my principal when I was doing my hotel management. And thank you for grooming me. I was the last bencher. And from thank you for shaping me up and whatever I could do. Give up. Yes, I passed.
Lovely.
We don't believe in failing students. We believe in developing students.
So it's all about showing the path to the candidates, to the young aspirants who come and join this industry. And that is really more important. Teaching them what is required and being a role model for them. So they start following you. If I take 30 seconds more, I want to narrate one incident which happened with me 12 years back. So I appeared for an interview at one of the hotel company, and Mr. Ramesh Takulia, is he sitting here now? He's not here? Okay, I want to mention his name here. How you leave impression on people's life. I met him, he interviewed me, and post the interview, he escorted me till the lobby and he bid a farewell to me. Although he didn't select me, that's a different chapter. But I still remember him. I keep narrating this example to people that how humble you need to be when you are in this industry. People look at you, you never know when, where, and on whom you are leaving impression. People look at you and people observe you by your actions and they start following you. Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, so we have spoken about talent attraction. We have spoken about skilling as one of the key issue and what industry is really doing to address that. In terms of talent availability to work in hotels, I think one of the real issue at this moment is the gender imbalance, right? And I would like to really pose this question to Vikram.
Repeat that statement, the last one.
The gender balance, right? So gender diversity is should be one of the focus areas if we really want to attract the right talent to work in hospitality. And Marriott has been a flag bearer of diversity in India's hospitality ecosystem. For example, Westin Hyderabad has all, women employees in the hotel. How do you cascade this kind of a culture in Marriott? And how do you attract ladies to work, especially when we are growing in tier 2, tier 3 markets where there's a lot of challenge of infrastructure?
So this is a question which actually comes very often. How do we increase the diversity ratio? So yes, the first is believing in your talent. irrespective of the gender. It starts from there. And the hotel that you talked about, it's an all women-operated hotel. More than a publicity stunt, I feel it is a statement. It is a statement which says right up there that any job anybody can do. So that is the statement which comes out of that hotel. So I certainly, it's not a publicity stunt, as I said, but yes, and then encouraging our women leaders to grow within the system, organizing women leadership workshops. We just had one in Mumbai, and calling leaders, when I say leaders, I'm talking about women leadership from across industries, and they sharing their stories are a great inspiration. Now, we all have our mentors, so everybody has to look up to somebody. Ranju, who heads our portfolio for this part of the world, she herself is a testimony and an example how a women leader can grow from a housekeeping department to lead a region like ours. And if I actually resonate to that, I would like to, maybe not the same words, but I will try to convey the same emotions what Raj Menon had when he was taking one of our sessions, that I took Ranju for the final round of interviews with one of the ownership companies. And the owner actually took me aside and said, "Ladki hai, kar payegi?" That's when Raj said, "Trust in me, I have trust in the lady, and she will do it." And post that, she had successful 3 to 4 stints as a general manager of hotels. And that is an inspiration in itself, and that's the confidence that the senior leadership shows in a talent then like a Ranju when she was an executive housekeeper or a director of rooms. So it all starts from there. And yes, of course, there's a beautiful line in Marriott which is actually engraved in all of us. What gets measured gets done. You track it on a month-on-month basis. You do a laser focus, target towards a particular thing, and you will achieve it. So eventually, over a span of time, the diversity ratio has increased, by measuring about leadership, promoting, collaborating with another institutes which are primarily lady focused, as well as giving them opportunity and exposure to believe in themselves rather than we believing in themselves, and putting there that you can do any other job as anybody else. It's as simple as that. And if I talk about ladies in particular, we have also seen the way they handle the younger generation, because the high quotient of emotional quotient that they have, it is phenomenal. It creates less trouble for the HR to handle grievances across departments, because a lady manager handles the so-called daily issues, if I may use the word, of an associate much better than a male counterpart. So yes, pretty much, and what gets measured gets done is the mantra. Follow it, we will achieve our goal.
Fantastic. Great. Thanks, Vikram. In the interest of time, I'll just move a little faster. One more question to Divya, especially it's connected with diversity. What's your perspective on demographic disconnect? Because, in industry, we see a lot of generations working together, old versus young. So is there any specific issue only in hospitality from a demographic disconnect, or it's in other industries as well? What's your thought there?
There is a very specific issue in hospitality, is that a lot of women want to work in hospitality. All right? And as an industry, we are underplaying this for us. At the Job Plus, like I said, across all the projects that we have delivered, we have achieved a 50% diversity ratio. That means about 1,000 women have entered the workforce into hospitality this year. The attrition rates amongst women, lowest, right? Projects which have had higher women participation, again, have higher performance indicators attached with them. So yeah, the industry wants the women to work. The women want to work in the industry. So both great problems to have. But I think as an industry, we need to have a little bit of a mindset change, right? We cannot have these beautiful work environment for women, but when they step out, your support and your hand-holding ends because the big bad world still exists out there for the women, right? You want your women to work in Delhi, in Gurgaon, in Noida, in UP, in Goa. You need to be aware of the realities outside the hotel also, right? And I think brands are stepping up more and more to provide accommodation, to provide buddies, mentors, transportation, and those are absolutely becoming hygiene factors to attract women. And now coming to demographic, there is a little bit, and I will say that the old generation feels like हमने तो ऐसे करा था तो ये बच्चे क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, right? You keep asking that question, we're not going to go anywhere because the millennials, the Gen Zs, they are the future, right? They are not going to adapt for us, we have to adapt for them, right? And I think that is the fundamental of the way the industry needs to evolve, is to understand what their requirements are, what their very rightful challenges are, and just solve them if you want them to work for you. It's pretty much as simple as that. We've had beautiful projects with many brands where we've delivered complete 100% women workforce, right? We are working with Western High Tech. So I think absolutely phenomenal performance indicators from these women. Give them a chance. And not only from the Northeast or from your Delhi, Bombay, Gurgaon, but you have women from UP, from Bihar, from Jharkhand, who are absolutely changing the game. So give them that chance.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Divya. So basically, this is for all of us, and for accepting all the youngsters who want to work in our industry. It's important to accept and innovate and practice a concept of reverse mentoring, which really helps in understanding what the today's generation is really expecting from all of us. On this note, a quick fire last question to all of you together. What is that one thing which keeps you awake related to your work?
Okay, let me start.
Okay.
I think for us, we are that sort of hinge point between industry and the institutes. For us, what keeps us awake is that we have a mandate today to supply over 80,000 people in the next 1 year. Where are they coming from, and what is the industry doing to be prepared for them?
Fantastic.
That's our main challenge.
Lovely. Nishal?
Yeah. For me, when I was working as general manager for the hotels, I met one person of IIT Roorkee. He was professor of IIT Roorkee, and he was doing research on like water purifier systems, Eureka Forbes at that time, Hotel Parichai in Kochiatal. So one day he left the job and going back to academics, IIT Roorkee back. I asked him, sir, you are vice president, you are having such a good position, why you are going back? He said, when I work in the office, it is all file, pulling leg, conspiracy, backbiting. But when I am in the institute, I always feel young because of the new talent, new energy, and the enthusiasm of the students. They always keep you young. And that's what I feel. It is my 30 years as principal. Like he's one of my students and many are sitting there also. So 30 years, 95 to 2025, 30 years as a principal is long term. But it always made me energetic because of this energy of the students. That's my...
Fantastic. Yash, one thing which keeps you awake, one word. Nishit first. Yeah.
Enthusiasm and passion.
Fantastic. It's a very positive turn. Yash, one thing which keeps you awake.
Asking one question to myself, that are we showing the right path to the generation who is following us, and then keep navigating accordingly. Yeah. Thank
Lovely.
you.
Thank you. Vikram.
For me, it is embracing change with the changing times of what is expected out of us, as me as a leader, as a HR director, as well as a company, because the scale that we are in, to implement a small change or to implement that takes significant amount of time. And by the time we do that, the time has come for the next change, because the generation sitting out there expects that from us. So embracing change would be one word, and how do we do it the best way possible, in the shortest way possible, and the most efficient way possible.
Lovely.
That's what keeps me awake at the hotel.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for...
But I still have a sound sleep.
Okay. Yes, of course, you need that. On this note, would like to open the forum for the questions, if in case anyone has any question.
I think Alan had the
We
question.
will
and is
just
not
take
asking.
2 questions.
Alan has a list of 14 questions.
Alan is keeping it for the lunch.
Thank you. Good evening. Good afternoon. I'm Alan from Goa. A couple of observations and then one real question over there is, this session is an accommodation-led session. When it comes to jobs, I don't see F&B here. I don't see restaurants at all, anywhere. And they outnumber us 10 to 1. So we had numbers of opportunities available, nothing in restaurant dining over here. My question to Nishit and the others on the panel as well, most people don't want to be managers in hotels. It's not a good job. I know, I've been a bawarchi for 30 years. Most of us want to be entrepreneurs. And retention is very high when you're an entrepreneur as well, right? And even in marriage and all that, you'll teach us to be entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial minds. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. So I want to know your conversations on that, especially with initiatives. Why is hospitality only hotels right now? Where's the education sector, and where's the dining sector, and where is the catering sector, and where's the entrepreneurial sector as well, in terms of retention?
Nishit, yes?
Yeah.
Would you like to take?
Okay. See, कहते Alan, number one, we have, though the course is Institute of Hotel Management and course is the BSc in Hospitality Management, and all this, like you said, restaurant entrepreneur, and when I was talking about beyond the syllabus, and I said that Yadvansh Mathur did program on culinary economics, or Ravi Bazi did the facilities management and facilities planning. So Mr. Rajdan did program of entrepreneurship, he's GM of Leela, Bangalore. So what actually is there? As a curriculum, yes, there are structure because we have to evaluate people on certain scales. But institute to institute, is to the principal, the head of the institution, has to take lead to develop students in there. And as you said, today when the placement is happening, last year IHM Mumbai had got 430 companies came for campus interviews, out of which 480 students we have, only 230 students are sitting for the campus, out of which 430 companies came, each student approximately 3 jobs in hand. And out of 230, 100 students preferred to join QSR. Reason? They felt the growth is faster, and after having experience, I can start my own. As one of the panelists was saying, that this generation do not want to invest more time in an organization. They want to grow fast, live fast, and that is what they. So you don't see much people here in restaurant, but students are preferring to join. That is why the Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Starbucks, you find lots of IHM graduates, and basically they are working on the logistics, or store managers, or the unit managers, and their growth is faster, and they are looking for growth, experience, and then they start. Another example, when I was in Kolkata, at the time of COVID, Swiggy selected 200 students to start their cloud kitchens, because Swiggy had lots of outlets to feed, because many outlets were not working, so they feed. Swiggy was preparing food and supplying to them, and they were finishing and supplying other chain. So it is like, it is choice of the student. We prepare the base, we just plant the seed, and as per their opportunity, they keep on growing. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thanks Alan, for you to ask this question. Thanks, Nishit, for your appropriate response. We'll take one more last question, please. Yes?
Good afternoon. I'm Aniruddha Das from my Institute of Hotel Management in Savantvari. It's a new IHM that has been set up. My question to the industry persons is that, is there a possibility, very honestly speaking, if the industry can adopt the institutions and help in delivering this curriculum? because associate with the institutes and, whatever your requirement is. Because we are doing degree courses, we are doing diploma courses, we are doing certificate courses. So I think we will be able to provide manpower at the various levels that a hotel requires. But if we have the association of the hotels, that helps us a lot.
Right? You would like to take Vikram?
The shortest answer probably is not adopt, but yes, collaborate. Adoption would be a bit difficult because as a hotel company, we also have multiple stakeholders and all have to be aligned to come on the same page. That's the most shortest answer that I can give. However, when I say collaborate, Marriott across India has collaborated with multiple institutes and we have got multiple MOUs signed at the unit level and for the city level, wherein the exchange of ideas, exchange of thoughts, exchange of educational the way we impart education, that has significantly improved, primarily because of that MOU signed. It becomes an onus onto both the parties to abide to that. So the institute does or collaborates or demonstrates a lot of attributes that the company wants, and the company also comes with that sense of responsibility that, yes, I have signed this MOU, it has to mean something at the end of the year, and do much more than we would have done without an MOU signed. So yes, that's an answer, the shortest answer that I could have for this.
Would you like to add anything? Yeah, Shyam?
Yes, so from Sarovar also I can say the answer is yes. So it goes hand in hand, and I believe in something that when we develop hospitality professionals, so it's 80% common sense and 20% sense. So hotels and the institutes collectively are responsible to teach that 20% sense, and that goes hand in hand. So answer is yes. Thank you.
All right, lovely. So I think we will take one more last question. We can see one hand raised at the back. Okay, go ahead. Last question, please.
How come villagers and poor class people have not been provided these kind of platforms?
So, THSC is doing great job. You can contact Mr. Rajan Bahadur, and they are doing all this for.
It is not provided, some state it is provided.
Sir, we are from a different state, it's not our area. But if you want such people to be helped, you can always contact THSC. I believe Mr. Rajan Bahadur, right, sir? Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your patience and sorry for holding you for the lunch break. And thanks to all the panelists. Lovely interactions, and thanks for coming over. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all the panelists. Now I would like to invite Honorary Joint Secretary, Mr. HRANI, Mr. Vinod Gulati to facilitate our guest.
May I have your attention, please? Could you please sit back? We still have a felicitation pending.
Please give a huge round of applause, everyone. Ending to करनी है ना? Please. Yeah. जब तक वो ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ कर रहे हैं तब तक क्लोजिंग करते हैं. Sir, please, for the group photo. A huge